Hey man, you ever look into flat earth?
Look at this. This is crazy. Okay, for the people that follow my channel, they might understand this a lot better than those that don't. I put the cell phone footage up just so you could see that my camera was at a very low perspective. Um, it's 28 inches high. That's to the center of the lens. And I may have been maybe 1 inch above the water with my tripod. Might have been because it was awful muddy right there. But I also want to say thank you to all my subscribers that have been sticking with me. Also, thank you to all the new subscribers that I have been receiving. Um, I'm I never got into this to prove flat Earth to other people. I got into this really to prove that it was flat to me. In the very beginning, I really was very, very skeptical. And my first video, I thought I had actually proven flat Earth wrong because I actually uh, bought my camera to go out and debunk flat Earth. And it's kind of all Jaron's fault. I should have put this in the title. It's all Jaron's fault because he kept saying, "Don't take my word for it, people. Go out and do your own observations and go out and do your own research." So, hey, I didn't believe him, so I went out to debunk him. And I actually was still a globe skeptic or a flat Earth skeptic for a while until I continued doing my observations, and I've been really, really persistent and dedicated to doing these observations under all different circumstances, um, even in rain. You know, it's pretty wild when you go out there and you start seeing how really the light does blind you at times, and then sometimes not enough light will blind you because it's too dark to see. But when you have just the right amount of light and even light blockage, you can see things that you should not see. Now, Mick West and his Earth curve calculator, Metabunk, says that it's light refraction that's actually this magical force that pulls objects up from behind the curve. Well, I actually think it's the opposite way around, that the light refraction is actually light reflecting, and it's reflecting off the water, which light, when it reflects, it casts upward. And when light casts upward, that could be why when the sun goes down, we don't go into we don't instantly go into a black shadow of, Earth's shadow being casted up above and, being blocked out by a dark shadow. That is not always what happens. Now, maybe if you have a lot of clouds on the horizon, this could happen. But as you see, These corpuscular rays are, doing something pretty neat. But one of the things that I'll bring a few things to your attention is look at how far back that water actually goes, and what is that light reflecting off of. Yes, at times I think that there's like an atmospheric mirror that blocks things out. Also, resolution. There's the Bayport rack that I just passed, but you'll see with this, even with this Bayport rack, that there's water well beyond it. And again, they want to say that it's light refraction that's pulling it up and in view, pulling it up, everything up, flat smack out in your view. I cannot buy into this because of my observations. Now I've become a very big, well, I want to say globe non-believer in the spinning ball, mainly due to my observations and seeing how that light, and you also got to take into consideration shadow. You get shadow out there that can, cause things to appear to be curved. I've taken pictures from a low perspective with the sun out there, and it will make the edges to the left and the right of the uh, picture shadowed out, and you'll look like you got this like curved view. When other days, I can take that same picture and just see nothing but a flat horizon. Why? It's due to this light. And here again, look at Bayport rack out there. Um, it's sitting in the water with plenty of water behind it. So, I mean, if refraction is real, then you're talking about pulling up miles and miles of water behind it, which I cannot no longer buy into it, because right there you can actually see how that light is causing some of the shadowing. But right there where the sun is being blocked out, you can see water going further and further out there. Um, and this is why, on certain days you get really good visibility, and on other days the light will actually cut things off, cause a mirroring effect, which in turn blocks out anything well beyond. Now look at that. I mean, come on, people. Open your eyes and really look, because this is the problem. You know, I know I put out long videos, and they are long, and people don't really want to watch long observations. But I think observations is where it's at, and really confirming um, that this horizon is a flat horizon, not a curved horizon. The curve is an illusion caused by the light refraction. It is blocking out, everything beyond. So in my eyes, Mick West's curve calculator is actually backwards. It's half-assed backwards. In other words, it's the light refraction that is blocking us out and not allowing us to see beyond, uh, the water beyond objects. Now, this particular day, it was very, very, the horizon was very distorted, but I found when I didn't zoom in all the way and stayed back, the resolution was much, much better. Now, I have quite a bit of footage from this day, and I start out by doing a little video with my cell phone showing that I'm, at the water's edge at 28 inches. And then I do one video like that, and then I go up on the deck that's behind me. And okay, here you go. There's a boat going toward the Bayport rack. Um, But I go up on the deck to see if I can see a difference, and there is a little bit of a difference. And people will say, "Well, you just proved the curve." Well, no, I didn't. I proved that looking across a flat plane, the higher up you go, the more that flat plane is visible, and you actually get more detail because of the resolution, angular resolution that I'm at. The higher you go, the better the angular resolution. Um, so in turn, when you look out here, you can actually see that water is way further than what it normally would be. Now, again, is it refraction that's uh, pulling it up, this magical refraction that nobody can really prove unless they use a trick? This is, live footage. I'm not using any tricks. The only thing I may do is turn up and down the exposure, the brightness in the camera, um, or change directions. If you notice, sometimes when you change the direction of your camera, the light comes in at a different angle, which gives you, it can kind of like hinder your vision or help your vision, depending on where you're at. And then, you also got how far out can you focus? Here's a boat that I usually zoom in on. That's how far this boat out is out there, and all I see is the boat sitting on the edge of the water and no water beyond it. Here I see water well beyond it. I even see how the clouds are, lit up red at that edge and uh, causing uh, the water to vanish within that light where that red light is. But see right here to the left of the screen, and then you look to the right of the screen, and you can see that water going well beyond. And you can even see the corpuscular rays, the light rays coming through those clouds that are way out there on the horizon. Um, so I took this in January of 22nd. I think it was around 4 something in the afternoon that I got there, and I always stay uh, till after the sun departs our vision, our line of sight, our passes the convergence line, because there is a convergence. People want to deny that. People want to deny perspective, but it's pretty obvious. Perspective is not an artist's trick; it's reality. I mean, you can go out there and observe it. Uh, set a bunch of cans in a row, leading away from you, and get down and look at the first can, it's going to be bigger than the last can, plain and simple. Well, what's happening to the last can? It's getting compressed, um, too, due to just the angular size of it. Um, so right here, this really gives me good proof, being that again I'm at a very low perspective, 28 inches above the water, and this is my view. Now, at 28 inches, I should not be seeing water well beyond these boats that are out there that like I said, I normally film them, and they're sitting on the edge of the water. Here, you can actually see the water going well beyond, way out there on the horizon. And you can see little openings in the clouds way out there on the edge, or actually, it's not the opening, it's the light shining through those little thin layers, or maybe small openings, but you're not looking at the bottom of these clouds. You're looking at a side view of these clouds, not through the top, or not on the bottom. You're actually you're getting a slice of them, just like looking down a hallway. If you slide to one side of the hallway or the other, you'll see more of one edge or one side of the wall than you will the other. Why? Because it is actually getting compressed due to your angular resolution. These are pretty plain and simple, common sense things that um, most people just don't pay attention, or they just don't care, because they've been pretty much pampered to believe in this spinning globe, because we all were indoctrinated into it. and saying boats go over the curve. There's just odds and ends that are crazy. Um, but again, this is one of the videos that I took. Again, it was a distorted day, but still with the distortion, I could see for miles and miles and miles, well beyond what science says I should. All right, well, I do appreciate y'all watching, and I might put all these videos together and just make a link, and I'll make it unlisted, but I'll post it in the description when I'm finished.